There's going to be, in Canada today, funeral services held in Saskatchewan and Alberta for 3 of the 16 people who died in the Humboldt Broncos bus crash last week. The funeral for team coach Darcy Haugan will be held at the hockey arena, the Broncos' home ice. The funeral for 18-year-old Brody Hintz, who compiled statistics for the Broncos, will also be held in Humboldt today. And family and friends of defenseman Logan Boulet will gather in Lethbridge, Alberta, to pay their respects to the 21-year-old who was on life support after the crash until his organs could be donated, saving 6 other lives. Well, today, the head coach of the Humboldt Broncos, Darcy Haugan, will be laid to rest. As we mentioned, Haugan, one of the 16 people who died in the tragic Saskatchewan bus crash a week ago. Mike Fosty, general manager of the Northeast Navigators, who worked with Darcy for 10 years, Coach Haugan, rather, for 10 years during his time coaching in Peace River. Mr. Fosty, can you tell us what you're expecting at the service today?
Well, we're expecting a pretty big crowd. From what we can gather, the Humboldt Arena will be full, and there will be an overflow, I believe, in the high school gymnasium. So yeah, we're expecting a very, very big crowd. I know from Peace River, Alberta, there's a big presence coming down. Darcy touched a lot of lives, and he was a really, really good man.
You mentioned that he's touched a lot of lives. In what way do you think he was able to accomplish that? What kind of a man was he?
Well, he was, he was the type of guy that cared about everybody. Whether, as a coach, he cared about you as a player. He cared about you more as a person off the ice. He was that type of guy. I know he helped a lot of young men through some rough times, some rough patches, and I believe he was still doing that till the minute he passed away. Darcy loved what he did, coaching, but I think he loved more mentoring and coaching young men to be more, I guess, how would I put it, respectful and, be able to help society and that sort of thing. Go ahead, Brad.
Well, I was just going to suggest that it sounds like he was as much a life coach as he was an on-ice coach. Do you think that is what made him so successful as a coach?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. He was a very personable person. He would talk to anytime, anyplace, anywhere. I remember lots of hot stoves sitting in his office, at his work, and 5 o'clock, and we'd sit till 6:37 discussing our games for the the coming weekend, and the people who the teams that we were going up against, what we needed to do. But he accepted anybody into his office to talk. It didn't matter what time of day or it was. He would take the time and talk to you. He would listen, and he would help where he could, when he could. So, he was just a guy that everybody wanted to play for. And you could see that by what he got out of his players on the ice. Sometimes you could, you just wonder how he got more than what those guys could give, but he did. He managed to, bring it, and he was the type of guy. He was a competitor, and he hated to lose.
Well, Mike Fosty, general manager of the Northeast Navigators, recalling the life of Darcy Haugan, who's going to be laid to rest today. Thanks very much for recalling for his life.
You're welcome, Brad. And just one correction there, Brad. It's the North Peace Navigators.
I appreciate that clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And best to you as well.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.